Hey everyone, Sherwood Small Pets here. So I'm here with Gwen, and today we're going to do I think a really important video. And that was a very odd sound. And anyways, it's been inspired by Gwen's recent health issues. As a lot of you know, she's been battling pneumonia. We really weren't sure if she was going to make it. She's not out of the woods completely yet. However, it'll be a week on Wednesday since she saw the vet, and she's doing incredibly well. She's putting weight on every day, and she's eating well. As you can see, she's eating. She's responded to her meds extremely well. So the topic of this video, with her in mind, is the importance of a good vet and how to figure out if your vet's a good one. Because it's very frustrating as a small pet owner, because a lot of the times, and too often, you will find yourself knowing more about your type of small pet than your vet, and that is not a good sign. Okay, it's never a bad thing to know a lot, but you want your vet. Your vet is a doctor, okay? Well, that looks nice. Green parsley juice. Mmm. We're just giving her parsley when she's out, because it's not something we give everybody, because it's higher in calcium, and we just give cilantro. We're kind of trying to bulk her up a little, and it's a good thing to give in very small doses for purposes like that. Anyways, back to the vet. So Gwen actually was at the vet over a month ago. She went to a vet that came highly recommended, has actually won awards, is known for their exotic pet experience. I don't know if it was just one vet, so I don't want to speak totally ill of the practice. However, we had a horrendous experience. First off, the vet tech had this huge questionnaire for guinea pig owners, and I was like, oh, that's encouraging, right? No. She basically considered us like a problematic pet owner because we didn't give vitamin C drops in our water, and I don't know how familiar you guys are, but like that hasn't been a regular practice since like the late 90s. So that kind of triggered my alarm bells right away. But when we took her in, her breathing had like a sound. She wasn't really displaying any other symptoms, and I was quite frustrated because she wasn't acting sick at all. It was just more like basically ease my overprotective instincts type thing. If necessary, we'll do x-rays, that kind of idea. Anyways, so the vet came in, asked us pretty much the exact same questions as the vet tech without looking at all this stuff we just answered. Didn't like that she was in a herd situation. Basically, by the end of the appointment, she told us she had a fever when she didn't. She was using the terms pneumonia and upper respiratory infection interchangeably, as if they were the same thing, and wouldn't do an x-ray when we asked her to, because that's actually how you tell if it's pneumonia, right, is an x-ray. She didn't understand what meds to give. She had to consult a book. She gave us a med that wasn't at all appropriate for what was going on. So it was a very frustrating experience. And I was worried about Gwen, so I didn't go as prepared as I normally would have, mostly because it was just so sudden, and this vet came so highly recommended that I was just kind of flabbergasted that, they could be so dense. If you talk to my friends, Val, Abby, and Carrie, they would agree. Like, I was beyond upset. Anyways, so she did a 2-week round of a med that they actually under-dispensed. They only gave us enough for 6 days, which was really frustrating. And I was like, but if it's pneumonia, like, theoretically, if it was the worst of the two, it was going to need more than just 10 days. It would need at least 2 weeks, but she disagreed. Whatever. Anyways, long story short, she appeared better. She put, her weight was steady, her breathing was okay. And this continued for about 3 weeks. And we were like, oh, this is good. Or I guess 2. And then all of a sudden one day I went in and her breathing was really labored. It didn't have a sound. There wasn't any discharge. There was nothing going on with her eyes. But her breathing was really labored, and it freaked me out. And so it just happened that night coincided with our weekly weigh-ins, as you guys saw how important those are. And we weighed her, and she'd actually in 7 days dropped 100 grams. And we were just like, oh snap. So we got a vet appointment immediately, and we took her in, and this vet is actually one that was recommended to us by friends of ours at Piggles. So I was like, okay, this vet was really far away for us, but it was so worth it. They were incredible. All I can say is this vet saved her life. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm not saying that to pump up this vet. He saved her life. And he was so good to us. He didn't talk to us like we were stupid. He told us straight. He didn't pull any punches. He was like very honest with us. He showed us exactly what she was doing. And it was an incredible experience. It was horrifying for me because we found out we might lose her. That was how dire the situation got so quickly, because she was able to, basically the previous meds weren't strong enough and they weren't the proper meds. So she was able to like mask it better for longer. So by the time when the symptoms actually came out in full, like with a vengeance, it was even worse. Like it had just festered. And so it was really bad. So, long story short, I guess, he saved her and he did an incredible job. And I'm forever in this guy's debt, basically. But this brought me to realizing the importance of asking the right questions. Basically, when your first meeting with a vet should be almost like an interview. Like, why should I trust you to look after my guinea pigs? Or small pets, I guess. So if you're going to the vet with your guinea pig for the first time, make sure that you ask them, that they make sure that they understand what the importance of a guinea pig's health is. Make sure they check their teeth in front of you. Don't let them like take them away. That's actually what they tried to do with Gwen at the other place. They wanted to take her away to check her temperature and her teeth, and it was like, no. Like, are you kidding? You can do that right here. And so don't be afraid to ask them questions. Always, always, always make sure that they know like basic things like what a guinea pig's temperature should be. Again, this last vet thought that she had a temperature when she was 38 degrees. That's totally normal. She didn't have a fever. Make sure that they understand that them living in pairs or herds is normal. Make sure they understand how like getting vitamin C in their vegetables and their pellets are important. Make sure they know the basics about your guinea pig. Make sure they understand what basic medications are, like something like TMS, also known as Bactrim, Baytril. Make sure that they know what critical care is, because if they don't know that, I mean, they obviously haven't been around small pets very long. Make sure that when they're answering your questions, they're not running to consult a book all the time. That was actually, that was another red flag with me. The woman had to basically look up what Bactrim was, which I was like, are you kidding me? And don't be afraid to not go back. And they're not gods, they're people. And not every vet going through veterinary school has to look at small pets. But that doesn't mean that they know very much or they have any experience with them. So there's a very large difference for that. Make sure that they don't talk to you like you know absolutely nothing. You want to make sure that you go in with your, not guns blazing, but kind of, like, this is your animal's welfare. It can't speak for itself. You have to speak for it. So if they talk to you like you don't know anything, and you do, that's a big red flag. The other thing is, make sure that they explain what they're doing. If they just take the guinea pig and start like fondling it, it's, make them explain it. Also, make sure that they're gentle. Chances are, if the guinea pig needs to be held or supported back here, make sure they ask you to do it, and they're not like overly stressing your guinea pig out, because this can make or break a veterinary experience for your pet. Make sure that when they look at everything, that they're doing it properly and gently. Small animals are breakable. And if a vet's used to like dealing with dogs, cats, or even livestock, they're not going to treat a rodent the same way. So make sure that they know what they're doing. And if anything feels off at any point, tell them to stop. I guess that's what I want you to take from this video is, I guess this isn't so much of what to look for in a vet. This was kind of my vet experience plus like what not to take from your vet, I guess. But you just have to remember that the vet doesn't know everything, and finding a good vet can take several times. We've been searching for a good vet for quite a while, and you're going to have to go places. It's not necessarily going to be local, unfortunately. We had to drive all the way to the other end of the Greater Toronto area, and it was so worth it. Oh my God. It was so worth it for her, so worth it for us. Like I say, she's alive. They had to give her a shot for shock. Her tongue was actually purple. That's how bad it had gotten just so quickly. So she was on oxygen for half an hour just to get her going, and then oxygen again. But this vet knew what they were doing, and I can't even explain the feeling. The whole office was just so great and so helpful and so caring. They had therapy dogs there to make you feel better. The vet tech, I started bawling. She came in and she gave me a huge hug. It was just wonderful. And I just want to make sure that you're equipped to find that same experience, because a good vet is life or death. That's what it came down to. If we'd trusted that other vet again, Gwen might not be here. Also, trust your gut, okay? I don't know how many times I've said you have to know your pigs, but you also have to know yourself. You know these animals. Always, always, always follow your gut. If something doesn't feel right in an office, a vet clinic, or with the vet, honestly, make sure that you trust yourself, or ask yourself why you're getting an off feeling. Because there's probably a reason. Anyways, this has gotten rambly, but I just thought I'd let you guys all know how she's doing. She's doing quite much better. As you can see, her breathing looks normal. Her tongue is pink, thank God. Basically, I'm thrilled. I'm still being a paranoid mess, but I just want you guys to know that, there are good vets in your area, and sometimes asking, if you know other guinea pig people that are not necessarily right local to you, but close enough, you can maybe find... you can help, ask who they use. If you don't know any guinea pig people in your area, talk to a local rescue or a humane society and ask who they use. That's what I ended up doing. And like I say, it saved Gwen. It saved my girl. And I'm forever grateful to Dr. Warren. I can't even explain. He called us the next day and wanted to know how she was. And it was just an amazing... I'm getting all worked up. Anyways, basically, find a good vet. And don't be afraid to ask the tough questions, because if they can't answer them, they're not your vet. Okay? Anyways, we will be back real soon. I'll update you again on Gwen. I might just wait and upload this after I've got her 2-week checkup, but we'll see. Anyways, take care, everyone. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Bye-bye.